Welcome back to the Snark side. Go ahead and channel your inner Kim Plath and pour some wine.
Oh, seriously, fill it to the brim. If there was ever a time for a heavy pour, it is right now. Go ahead, take a sip. We will wait.
Because yes, babes, we are drinking tonight, and we are so ready to spiral. But first, we need to give a massive shout out to you.
We really do. The Snark Squad is basically the only thing keeping us tethered to reality at this point.
It honestly is. Thank you for rocking with us, for sharing the pod, for being here week after week in the absolute trenches of reality television with us.
The trenches are deep this week, let me tell you.
So deep. Babes, whenever you listen, wherever you are, we fucking love you.
Period. We love you guys.
We needed that tether today, too, because today was actually kind of wild.
Oh, it was a mess.
Like, being a dentist is normally just, drilling and filling, but today the universe was testing me. I had a patient who literally tried to bite the suction tube every time I looked away.
No. Like, actually biting it. Like, full-on chomping. I was sweating through my scrubs, babes. I was spiraling. I had to go into the break room and do deep breathing exercises next to a stale box of donuts.
See, meanwhile, I was living my absolute best life. 2 of my afternoon root canals just canceled.
I am so jealous.
Just didn't show up. It was pure, unadulterated bliss. The office was in total chaos, though, because the receptionist lost the keys to the supply closet.
Oh, my God, of course she did.
Right, so everyone is running around looking for bibs, and I'm just sitting in my chair, sipping an iced coffee, watching the drama unfold like I'm front row at BravoCon.
I mean, that is the dream. But somehow, the reality TV gods smiled upon both of us, and we got the rest of the afternoon off to record.
Thank God, because right before recording, we had shrimp linguine.
Babes. So,
good.
I am honestly still thinking about it.
It was a religious experience. The amount of garlic and butter involved was borderline criminal, and I have zero regrets. The flavor was insane. Just rich, buttery, messy, comfort food energy. We were just sitting there twirling pasta, drinking Pinot, and completely letting go.
It was exactly the vibe we needed to prepare for the absolute trauma we are about to unpack.
But that brings us to a very necessary apology, because we need to give a shout out to the fitness babes.
Oh, God. Yes. We have to confess.
Babes, we have not been keeping up with Pilates this week. I am confessing it right now. I looked at my little pink grippy socks this morning and I literally whispered, "Not today, Satan."
The guilt is real, but like the delusion is so much stronger. We literally sat on the couch eating linguine, looking at each other and going, we will definitely go tomorrow morning.
6 a.m., we will be there.
We are absolutely not going. My core has officially retired for this season.
The excuses I made up in my head today were Oscar-worthy. Like, oh, my wrist feels kind of weird when I turn it a specific way. I really shouldn't risk the reformer.
Pure delusion. Just pure, unadulterated delusion.
Right. But speaking of delusion, we need to talk about something unhinged before we get into the show. Camera rolls.
Oh, this is a very dangerous game to play.
I know, but I was scrolling through mine today and I had a full-body panic attack. Babes, let me ask you. If someone went through your camera roll right now, what is the craziest thing they would find?
I mean...
Because if anyone got a hold of my phone, I would literally have to fake my own death, move to a remote island, and go into hiding. Because yes, babes, there are nudes.
You are so brave for admitting that into a microphone. Just putting it out there.
I have to be honest with the babes.
No, but let's be real. It is not even just the nudes that are incriminating.
Yeah.
It is like the 47 nearly identical selfies trying to find the one with the right lighting.
Oh my God, yes. The micro adjustments of the chin.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it is the unhinged screenshots of text conversations from 2019 that I am saving for evidence in arguments I will literally never actually have.
Yes. My camera roll is basically a psychological profile of a deeply petty person.
Right. The nudes show confidence. The 800 screenshots of a Reddit feud show a profound need for therapy.
It is the screenshots of a friend's ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend's sister's Instagram story. Just pure chaos. The nudes are honestly the least embarrassing part compared to my screenshot folder.
Same. But okay, babes, we are fed, we are tipsy, we are exposing ourselves. Let's get into the show. Because Season 8, Episode 5, High Hopes, and that mid-season teaser.
I am physically unwell. I am still shaking.
It was an assault on the senses. Let us start with the storyline that is essentially holding the entire internet hostage right now.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Ethan Plath.
We absolutely do. Babes, let me set the scene for you because I have not stopped screaming since this aired.
Yeah.
So Ethan and his girlfriend Teegan have broken up.
Finally, thank God.
Right. And Ethan is doing his little confessional, looking all pouty, admitting he has guilt. He basically says, I put her last on the list for like a year, so it is a matter of if we can unscrew what I screwed up.
Which is such a gross way to phrase it, by the way.
So gross. He knows he dragged his feet moving to Wisconsin to be with her. So what is his grand solution to fix a year of neglect?
His solution is the definition of a walking red flag. He decides, unilaterally, that he is moving to Wisconsin, but he does not communicate this to her.
Of course not. That would require emotional maturity.
Right, so he decides the best way to show skin in the game is to pack a single duffel bag into his 1976 Chrysler New Yorker, which, by the way, looks like a getaway car from a 1980s bank heist.
It is so ugly, and it probably smells like old pennies and regret.
And he just drives across the country without telling her.
I was hyperventilating at my television. He's literally giving me Joe Goldberg from The Show You. It is stalker energy, babes.
It really is.
Yeah.
A producer literally asks him on camera if he has a place to live. And this man-child shrugs and goes, no, not yet, but I'm sure I'll find a place.
He brought one bag. One. And the craziest part, the absolute most unhinged part, he is sleeping in his car.
The psychology of the car sleeping is where the delusion really crystallizes for me. Because the producers ask him why he doesn't just get a hotel.
We all know TLC pays them. He has money.
Exactly. And he looks dead into the lens and says that even if you have money, you should save it. Why? So he can, quote, very comfortably take care of the person I love.
Babes, I paused the TV and just stared at the wall. I could not compute. He thinks sleeping in a rusted-out Chrysler, wrapped in a dirty blanket, unable to stretch his legs, is a flex.
He is weaponizing the idea of being a traditional provider to justify being homeless in his ex-girlfriend's zip code. It is insane.
And let's talk about the hygiene, because the Snark Squad DMs were flooded with this. He drove for days. He slept in the driver's seat. He did not shower.
He actually thinks rolling up unwashed, smelling like stale beef jerky in desperation is a romantic gesture. He literally says, if she doesn't know I'm here, the worst thing is she thinks you're weird.
No, Ethan, the worst thing is she files a restraining order, because the stalking actually escalates. Babes, he gets to Wisconsin and he parks somewhere and he spots Teegan driving by. And what does he do?
He hides?
He hides behind his tinted windows.
Mm-hmm.
He smiles this creepy, dead-eyed smile and tells the camera, she had no idea. I just can't believe how lucky I was that she didn't see me. I love that.
I was screaming.
How is he not in jail?
It is genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
He fundamentally does not understand that popping up unannounced in a woman's city, watching her from the shadows, is not a rom-com moment. It is a threat.
It is a massive threat.
And even complete strangers recognize how unhinged this is. When he goes into that local flower shop to buy his pity roses, the absolute disgust radiating from those florists was cinematic gold.
Oh my God, the flower shop ladies. I want to buy them a drink. They are my heroes. Ethan is standing there, probably smelling like absolute garbage, buying a dozen roses.
Pity roses.
Yes. And he trauma dumps on these poor women. He admits he hasn't spoken to Teegan, doesn't know what is going on in her life, and that he ignored her for a year.
And the women are just looking at him like he is gum on the bottom of their shoe. Even Ethan noticed. He said he could see them thinking, oh God, another one.
Because they have seen 1,000 toxic men walk through those doors thinking a $20 bouquet is a substitute for emotional intelligence and basic respect.
Right, so he formulates this master plan. He is going to leave the roses on a park bench and text her to come meet him. He texts her that he has a surprise.
A surprise. Ugh.
And her response back. She asks for a hint and says she is mildly stressed out with a sweaty emoji.
Babes, that is not the text of a girl who is excited.
Yeah.
That is the text of a girl whose fight or flight response has just been activated. She is dreading this.
Totally dreading it. And when she actually gets to the park, the Snark Squad immediately caught this in our group chat. Babes, she rolled up in pajamas and slippers.
Yes, it was a masterclass in passive resistance. Showing up to a park in slippers to meet your ex is her physical way of saying, I am not dressing up for you, I am not trying to impress you, and I am not staying long.
It is a completely defensive posture. She was treating this like a hostage negotiation, not a date.
She looked like a hostage. And then he drops the bomb. He tells her he drove up yesterday and he moved there, and she does not even blink.
She is ice cold.
She hits him with the coldest, most iconic response. She says, "I'll believe it when I see it, and that our current relationship isn't going to change." She literally tells him, and I quote, "Move here, move to Minnesota, stay down there, move to Africa, like whatever you need to do."
Move to Africa. We need to put that on a t-shirt immediately.
I want it on a mug.
She is looking at a man who just uprooted his entire life to manipulate her, and she gives him absolute chilling apathy. She is explicitly telling him that his geographical proximity does not give him access to her life.
And the best part, the absolute cherry on top, she reminds him that she will not date him while he is still married.
Yes, babes, the elephant in the frickin' park, he is still legally married to Olivia.
How are you going to drive across the country to stalk your ex-girlfriend when you haven't even signed the divorce papers for your wife?
The Reddit threads were ripping him apart for this, and rightfully so. The prevailing theory in the DMs right now is that Ethan deliberately dragged his feet on the divorce just to punish Olivia.
Oh, 100%. He wanted to maintain control over Olivia's life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But while he was playing his little games with Olivia, Teegan got fed up and dumped him. So Ethan panicked. He lost control of wife number one, felt he was losing control of girlfriend number one, and physically relocated to Wisconsin to force his presence onto her.
It is all about control. Every single thing he does is about control, and you see it physically manifest when she rejects him. When Teegan says she is leaving, he asks, "Can I hug you for a bit?"
The audacity to ask for a hug.
And she gives him a rock-solid, immediate, "Nope." Babes. She backs her car out, and the camera zooms in on Ethan's face. Did you see his jaw?
He was visibly clenching. He was completely silent, just staring at her car, driving away. That was not a sad, heartbroken gaze. That was the look of a man struggling to suppress his rage because a woman just told him no.
He couldn't handle the fact that she was moving on and setting a boundary. He is terrifying, and then he has the audacity to smile at the end.
That smile will haunt my dreams.
A creepy serial killer smile, because in his twisted, unwashed head, he thinks he still won because he is there. He thinks he is just going to wear her down. It makes me sick.
It is a profound lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
And it is really wild to contrast that horror show with what his little brother Isaac is doing in this exact same hour of television. It was like toggling between a true crime documentary and a CW teen drama.
Right. Let us pivot to Isaac, because I actually have to give the kid a tiny bit of credit here, which physically pains me to say about any Plath man.
It hurts, but we have to be fair.
So Isaac broke up with his girlfriend, Kaylin, a few days prior. And why did he break up with her? Because she is 2.5 years older than him, and he got it into his head that she wanted to get married immediately.
Even though he explicitly admits that she never put that pressure on him, it was entirely self-inflicted.
Completely in his own head.
He looked at the smoking wreckage of Ethan and Olivia's marriage and Micah and Veronica's mess, and he just short-circuited. He got scared and torpedoed a perfectly good relationship.
Typical male behavior, honestly. Sabotaging something good because you're scared of your own shadow. But the difference is, Isaac realizes he was an idiot. He talks to the family, feels the regret, and he sets up a meeting with Kaylin.
At a different park, thankfully.
Yes, no stalker cars in sight. And he actually apologizes. He says he is willing to do whatever it takes, even if it takes a year, to earn her trust back.
And Kaylin's response is why she is officially royalty on the Snark side. She does not melt. She does not immediately take him back.
She is an icon.
She looks at this Plath boy and says, "I know my self-worth. I don't take bullcrap." She demands that trust be earned over time. She sets a firm boundary, and incredibly, Isaac actually respects it.
He does. He sets up this whole romantic gesture at Kim's vacation rental. Candles, roses, the whole 9 yards. And then, the gift.
Oh, the gift.
Babes. The Snark Squad and I were howling at this in the comments. He gives her a paint-by-numbers portrait of the two of them, which sounds cute, right? Except, what happened to the last paint-by-numbers portrait Kaylin gave him?
He threw it in a literal dumpster.
In a dumpster. And Kaylin, the absolute queen of holding men accountable, brings it up right to his face. She looks at it and goes, "Well, where's that painting now that you got in the dumpster?"
It was poetry.
I fell off my couch. I was screaming at the TV.
The humiliation was so necessary and so delicious. He had to sit there, eat crow, and say, "I hope you like this one." He literally had to recreate the exact thing he destroyed to prove he changed.
Isaac is acting like a little boy who broke a toy and thinks taping it together makes it brand new. But at least he's trying to communicate, unlike Ethan, who just demands compliance.
Exactly. Because the Plath men literally short circuit when a woman sets a boundary. They do not know how to function.
They really do not. And we know exactly where they get it from. Because, babes, we need to talk about Barry.
The physical revulsion I feel just hearing his name. My stomach just dropped.
Babes, I am still nauseous. The rebranding of Barry Plath is a psychological weapon formed against us. We are forced to watch a montage of Barry at the gym, doing high-intensity interval training.
Please make it stop.
Doing burpees, sweating, getting yelled at by an instructor. I had to cover my eyes. I was watching through my fingers.
And the instructor and the gym bros have given him a nickname. I do not even want to say it. It feels like I am committing a crime just thinking about it.
Say it. We have to suffer together. The babes need to know.
They call him Plath Daddy.
I am gagging. Plath Daddy. Babes, if someone ever calls him that in my presence, I am calling the police. It is vile.
It's a hate crime against my ears.
But the gym is just the start. Barry wants to date. He sits down with a matchmaker, and this is where the sinister undertones really come out for me.
Oh, he completely tells on himself. He plays the nice, self-aware guy at first. He says he realizes he wasn't meeting Kim's needs, that she didn't have a voice, and it was good feedback.
Which is such corporate speak, by the way. Good feedback. She divorced you, Barry.
Right. But then the matchmaker asks what he's looking for. And he immediately exposes his true self. He says he wants a nurturer. He explicitly rejects alpha females and says he is put off by controlling types because he has been there, done that.
Which is code. Babes, the Snark squad decoded this instantly. He wants a quiet, submissive bang maid who will cook, clean, and never ever question his authority.
Precisely.
He couldn't handle that Kim finally had a thought of her own after 20 years, so now he is making sure his next victim doesn't even have a spine.
He wants a traditional fundy wife who operates strictly within his patriarchal framework. And then he adds a physical requirement.
Oh, this was so weird.
He tells the matchmaker he wants someone with olive skin. He literally requests the Sandra Bullock look.
The specificity of that is so weird. For a man who spent 20 years preaching that physical appearance doesn't matter and that spiritual purity is the only thing that counts, suddenly he is out here demanding a Sandra Bullock lookalike who won't talk back.
The hypocrisy is staggering. But then again, hypocrisy is the family crest. And the awkwardness peaked when Kim's new boyfriend, Ken, tried to be buddy-buddy with Barry.
Oh my God, I had blocked that out.
Ken literally asks him on camera, "Are you dating anybody personally right now?"
The secondhand embarrassment I felt, Barry looked like he wanted to disintegrate into the floorboards. He does his creepy little smirk and just deflects.
It was so tense.
Babes, watching these two men try to navigate the fact that they are essentially sister husbands now is the most excruciating television I have ever seen.
Sister husbands is exactly what they are. But speaking of Kim, we have to tear into her storyline because her hypocrisy this episode was actually physically angering to watch.
Oh, I am ready to go in. Biggs, Kim goes to therapy. Which, fine, we all need therapy, especially her. She talks about dealing with guilt and shame.
Sure.
Then she gathers all the kids around the kitchen island like a cult leader, and one of them asks if it's a bad conversation, and she solemnly nods her head.
Setting the stage for maximum drama.
Always. But the truly unforgivable moment happens in her confessional. She is talking about Isaac, and she casually drops the biggest ideological bomb of the series. She says she has completely changed her stance on sex before marriage.
I gasped.
She says, and I quote, "Now I think it's better to have sex before marriage and really get to know who you're marrying than to just rush in and get married so that you can have sex."
It is just, it's unbelievable.
Babes, I saw red. I literally saw red. The Snark Squad group chats were a bloodbath. Do you understand the magnitude of this hypocrisy?
It is unfathomable.
This woman tortured her older children for years over strict purity culture. She gave them purity rings. She wouldn't let them watch TV. She called Olivia a literal demon because Olivia had the audacity to suggest that maybe the kids should experience the real world.
She weaponized religion to control her children's bodies and minds for decades. And now that she's divorced and she wants to sleep with Ken, suddenly premarital sex is a fantastic idea.
It's so convenient.
She just casually flits the script to test drive her new boyfriend with absolutely zero apology for the deep trauma she inflicted on Ethan, Micah, Moriah, and Olivia.
Exactly. It makes me sick. She alienated her own family. She ruined her oldest son's marriage by meddling and judging. And now she's like, oops, my bad. Anyway, I'm going to go hook up with Ken.
The lack of accountability is sociopathic. It is the ultimate display of narcissism.
Total narcissism.
The rules only existed when they served her need for control. The moment the rules restricted her own desires, she abolished them. It was never about God. It was about Kim.
Thank God some of the kids got out. Babes, we have to talk about Moriah, because seeing her in Montana was the only breath of fresh air in this entire hour of darkness.
Moriah living in Montana with her dog Blackjack is the healing journey we all deserve to see. She looks lighter. Her energy is completely shifted.
She does. She is out there in the snow, embracing this rebel spirit. She says that starting over taught her to trust herself again.
Which is huge for her.
I am just so proud of her for packing up and escaping the swamp. She finally looks like she is standing on her own 2 feet without her toxic parents breathing down her neck. Ethan and Isaac visiting her was actually sweet, but honestly, they bring the dark cloud with them.
They absolutely do. The peace is always temporary with this family, because that mid-season teaser, the dark cloud is about to turn into a Category 5 hurricane.
Babes. The teaser, I had to rewatch it 4 times. Tension is boiling over, and our king, Zac Wise, is in the crosshairs.
It is a phenomenal shift in dynamics. Zac confronts Ethan directly over money. Ethan, being the child he is, snitches on Zac to Teegan, and Zac defends himself saying, "I'm experiencing something wrong and I feel the need to speak up about it."
Which is exactly what a healthy, normal person does.
Exactly. But in the Plath family, speaking the truth makes you the enemy. So Kim and Barry orchestrate this insane intervention with Zac and Lydia.
And Kim, hypocrite of the century, Kim accuses Zac and Lydia of alienating themselves. She actually complains that Zac and Lydia are sitting people down and telling them they aren't godly enough.
The sheer irony. I laughed out loud at my television. Kim and Barry raised Lydia to be the ultimate prayer closet child. They isolated her, indoctrinated her, and taught her to judge the entire secular world.
Yes.
And now that Lydia has married a man who actually practices the strict fundamentalism that Kim and Barry preached, the parents are furious that they are the ones being judged.
Right. Barry has the nerve to look at Zac and say, "You're exporting opinions to lands that don't want to import." Shut up, Barry. Yeah. You exported your toxic opinions onto your children for 2 decades.
He is projecting so hard. And the result of this gaslighting is just devastating. The teaser ends with Zac physically breaking down.
Oh, that broke my heart.
A grown man crying on camera asking, "Am I a problem for the whole family?"
I wanted to jump through the screen and hug him. We are violently defending Zac and Lydia on this podcast. Zac is finally seeing the reality of his in-laws. He's realizing that you cannot win with them because they will just change the rules to make sure you always lose.
Which brings us perfectly to our post-recap segment. Because watching this family try to function is a full-time job. But we need to zoom in on the biggest red flag of them all.
The reddest flag.
Babes, it is time to answer the question currently tearing the internet apart. Is Ethan Plath the worst Plath?
Yes. Yes, he is. I will scream it from the rooftops. I'm going all in. Ethan is a giant man-child. He throws these terrifying internal tantrums whenever anything steps outside of the rigid little margins he created in his head.
Analytically speaking, he is the most dangerous.
The jaw clenching, the dead eyes when Teegan rejects him, it is legitimately scary. Babes, I texted you during the episode. He is one angry outburst away from being on the first 48.
You did, and I completely agreed with the assessment. He has zero emotional intelligence. He views women as property that should conform to his needs. He wants a trad wife who will let him buy broken-down cars, cook him 3 meals a day, and never have an independent thought.
He actively resents women who think for themselves.
He does. Which brings us to the most important declaration of this show today.
Babes, we are officially standing Olivia on the Snark side. I am declaring it loudly and proudly. Olivia was never the problem.
Never. The entire Snark squad was sending us DMs, apologizing for ever doubting her.
She was the only one with enough sense to see the cult for what it was, try to deconstruct it, and when Ethan refused to grow up, she ran.
She got out.
She dodged a massive grenade. And let's remind everyone, Ethan dragged his feet on the divorce purely to punish Olivia. He wouldn't sign the papers out of spite, and now he expects Teegan to just wait for him while he is technically still married. He is garbage. He is the worst Plath.
The prosecution rests. He is undeniably the most toxic element operating independently right now. But since Ethan is officially out here ruining lives, let's look at the rest of this family tree. Time for our segments, babes.
Yes, let's get into it. Segment 1, Family Dynamics from Hell. Of all the absolute disasters in this family, which relationship is the absolute most chaotic and why?
I'm going to nominate the Barry and Kim dynamic, even post-divorce. The structural chaos of their financial entanglements is the root of all the family's instability.
Really? Even though they aren't even together?
Think about it. Kim wants to sell the house. She wants to split the money.
Yeah.
But because she's submitted to Barry's patriarchy for 20 years, everything is in Barry's name. He holds all the financial control.
That is true.
He can literally just say no, and she is trapped. That kind of simmering resentment and power imbalance dictates the entire family's reality.
Yeah.
It is the most chaotic because it is foundational.
I hear your analytical take, Jay. I hear your take, babes, but I am pushing back hard on this. Yes, Barry controlling the money is insidious, but the most chaotic relationship to actually watch right now is Ethan and Teegan.
The stalker car.
Yes, the sheer power imbalance. Babes, think back to the park scene. It is a literal hostage situation. Teegan is sitting there visibly trembling, telling him to move to Africa, and Ethan is just smiling through it like a serial killer.
It was incredibly volatile, I will give you that.
It is terrifying. Barry and Kim are playing a Cold War over real estate. Ethan is actively stalking a woman who is trying to escape him, and he refuses to hear the word no. That is immediate, dangerous chaos.
That is a fair distinction. The physical threat level with Ethan is definitely higher. And speaking of holding people hostage, emotionally or physically, let's move to segment 2. Control or care?
Yeah. The ultimate Plath delusion. Where is the line between concern and control with these people?
A line does not exist.
Yeah.
It was always control masquerading as care. The mid-season teaser proves this emphatically. They claimed for decades that their strict rules, no sugar, no TV, purity rings, were out of deep spiritual care for their kids' souls.
They were protecting them.
Right. But the second Kim wanted to date Ken, the rules vanished.
Exactly. The rules were just a cage. And the second Zac and Lydia took Kim's own religious rules and held a mirror up to her, Kim lost her mind and accused them of being alienating.
It is classic projection.
It makes my blood boil. It is a control mechanism. Any outsider who challenges their dysfunction, like Olivia did for years, or like Zac is doing now, becomes the immediate scapegoat. The parents only care about you if you submit to their control.
It is a cult-like dynamic. The leader's rules apply to the followers, but not to the leader. If we were trapped in this farmhouse of horrors, babes, we wouldn't survive a week.
Not a chance. Which brings us to segment 3, escape plan. Babes, if you were magically dropped into this family, how would you get out?
Oh, I have thought about this extensively.
Honestly, I would literally pull a Moriah. I would pack a single duffel bag at 3 a.m., grab a dog, jump in a car, and drive to Montana without leaving a forwarding address. You have to physically ghost them.
See, you say that, but the real trap isn't just physical proximity. The real trap is the lack of education and resources. Kim and Barry intentionally gave these kids 0 transferable life skills so they couldn't leave.
That is so true.
They were isolated on a farm. You can't just drive to Montana if you don't know how to open a bank account or sign a lease.
That is so dark, but you are right. Moriah even said she had to rely on strangers looking out for her just to survive because she had no idea how the real world worked.
So my escape plan is highly strategic. Step 1, you have to secretly secure your own income and hide it in an independent bank account because Barry controls all the visible cash.
Okay, very Ocean's 11.
Step 2, you secure a burner phone. Step 3, you leave in the middle of the night. And step 4, which is the most critical, you seek intense, immediate therapy to unlearn the brainwashing because otherwise you end up, like Ethan, projecting your trauma onto everyone else.
It is a full covert operation just to live a normal life. But before you can execute an escape plan, you usually have to hit rock bottom. Let us get into segment 4, the breaking point. What moment from this episode or the teaser felt like everything was about to snap?
There were so many choices this week.
For me, it was absolutely Zac crying in the teaser. Babes, seeing a grown, tough guy completely break down, crying on camera, asking, am I supposed to just wrestle them? It proves that dealing with the Plath family gaslighting will literally break your psyche.
It really wears you down.
He is trying so hard to be a good son-in-law, and they're driving him insane.
The emotional toll on Zac is brutal. But I will argue that the true breaking point of the entire series, the moment the narrative permanently fractured, was Ethan in Wisconsin.
Oh, God, the car.
Yes. The visual of Ethan Plath sitting in that tinted window 1976 Chrysler, waiting at a park for a girl who explicitly does not want him.
It makes my skin crawl.
Having not showered for days, sweating in the driver's seat, it was the exact moment Ethan officially, and perhaps permanently, disconnected from reality.
It gives me chills just thinking about it.
It should. And it leaves us with a final provocative thought for everyone listening. Babes, ask yourself this. If Ethan is acting this unhinged, this stalkerish, and this disconnected from reality on camera with a full TLC production crew actively filming his every move.
Oh my God.
What on earth is he doing when the cameras are off?
Wow, babes, I'm going to have nightmares about that. That is genuinely terrifying.
It is the reality of reality TV. We only see what they allow us to see, and what they are allowing us to see is already a horror movie.
And on that incredibly dark note, we are wrapping up. We want to thank the entire Snark squad for hanging out and drinking with us today. You guys are the absolute best.
Truly. Please remember to share the pod with a friend who loves the mess as much as we do. And leave us a 5-star rating and review. Unless you are Kim Plath, then you can just keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling, Kim. Like, babes, we started with wine, shrimp pasta, and camera roll nudes, and we ended up fully unpacking deep-seated fundamentalist family trauma. As one does.
It is called range.
Exactly. Stay honest, stay chaotic, and we will see you on the Snark side.